Pleasure to have you join us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Simisola Ajigun. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has asked the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to dismiss a petition filed by the Labour Party and its presidential candidate Peter Obi. Obi and the Labour Party filed a petition challenging the victory of Bola Tinubu, candidate of the All Progressives Congress (APC), as the president-elect and seeking the nullification of Tinubu and his vice Kashim Shettima in the February 25 election. In its response filed on Monday, INEC, through its lawyer Abubakar Mahmood, said the reliefs sought by Obi and his party are not grantable. The Commission prayed the court to either dismiss or strike out the petition for being grossly incompetent and abusive. Still on election matters, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State has mocked a former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Iyorchia Ayu, over the party's failure in the 2023 presidential election. In a media chat with selected journalists in Port Harcourt on Tuesday, Wike claimed the Benue-born PDP chieftain has no electoral value. While the PDP has appointed an acting national chairman, Wike says the development means little. He, however, expressed happiness that Ayu did not quit as the PDP chairman before the election. In the lead up to the election, Wike had championed the call for Ayu's resignation.
What about Ayu stepping aside or not stepping aside? What is going to make me happy? Because they had a presidential candidate. I say you can't have these two. And people should understand. And our constitution says there must be zoning. That is not that we are comfortable with that. Because we still talked about the presidency should go to the start. Having stayed there for 8 years. But at least you have something to speak about. You know. So, whether Ayu goes, in fact, we're happy that Ayu didn't go that time. Well, if he had gone, then they would have said it was because Ayu left. That's how we lost election. So thank God he presided over the election. Not that we lost. He lost woefully from his unit to his ward, to his local government, to his state. He didn't have anything. So you can see that he has nothing to contribute to the party. We won here, which means we have something to offer the party. I didn't have anything to offer the party.
With the increasing spate of banditry attacks, the problem of insecurity has taken the front burner in Nigeria's political discourse. To this end, security experts have urged the new administration to, as a matter of urgency, deal decisively with bandits and other criminal elements. While commending the APC's document of renewed hope, security expert Kabiru Adamu, in an earlier interview with TV360 Nigeria, said the incoming administration spelled out new ideas for Nigeria's security architecture, but was silent on its implementation strategy. Speaking further, Adamu added that there is a need to address the issues of some aggrieved segments of the country who felt left out in the political affairs of the state.
So we're hoping that as part of the transition process going on at the moment, and of course behind the scenes, there is a lot of conversations now going on regarding how to implement all of these promises that were made. One area that the document was silent about is the correlation between climate change and insecurity. So I'm hoping that as part of the conversations too, that this area will be looked at closely, because there is a very close relationship between the climate change and the absence of implementing adaptation measures within the climate change spectrum, especially at the federal level and at the state level. And how this is driving insecurity across the country. The other ones are the soft components of insecurity. And I know the document spoke around poverty, unemployment, and the several other components. One thing that the document was silent about, again, is this grievance mechanisms that have failed, as it were, in Nigeria. There is a lot of grievance. The politics itself created new grievances. Certain components of the society feel left out. So there must be some mention and a strategy on how to bridge those gaps and develop national unity and cohesion. All of this, I'm hoping that as part of the transition work that is ongoing and the behind-the-scenes discussion by the incoming administration, they will be able to look at this, come up with an implementation strategy, and of course, hope that that implementation strategy will address all of these things that I've mentioned. But suffice to say, the renewed hope document was quite, comprehensive in terms of several components of the security approach that this new incoming administration intends to pursue.
A coalition of interest groups under the aegis of the Free Nigeria movement has said that Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka has betrayed the trust Nigerians reposed in him. The movement is reacting to the remarks by Soyinka that the 2023 Labour Party Vice Presidential candidate Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed is exhibiting a do-or-die attitude by saying that Bola Tinubu, president-elect, should not be sworn in. Speaking at a protest conference in Abuja, the convener of the Free Nigeria movement, Moses Paul, accused Soyinka of pursuing a selective witch hunt instead of focusing on the real issues surrounding the 2023 elections. He further called for a boycott of Soyinka's literary works, articles, events, and public engagement that celebrate his achievements.
It is on record that Professor Wole Soyinka never condemned the shameless episode of ethnic profiling, intimidation, and hate speech by elements such as Musilimu Akinsonya, aka MC Oluomo, Bayo Ononuga, FF Kayode, and a host of other atrocious persons. All their actions are not fascist, nor did he condemn Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's instance of flaunting INEC's guidelines, the Electoral Act, and his rush to declare a winner. It is sad that when it matters the most, the voice of our dear Prof, whose books and thoughts form the basis of academic pursuit by some, should breathe reason on the polity. He chose to stand with the oppressor in the burning house. We therefore call for the boycott of his books.
Yes!
Articles and events.
Yes!
And all public engagements.
Yes!
That celebrate his literary achievements, which as of today do not recognize the well-being of the ordinary Nigerian.
Yes. Yeah.
We need role models, not sellouts.
Yes!
Meanwhile, another group, the George Ubo Whistleblowers Network, has stormed the National Assembly to demand transparency from the House of Representatives panel set up to look into the 48 million barrels of oil that were illegally sold in China. The group, led by Peter Omo, which described itself as a civil society organization with the mandate to fight corruption, carried banners and placards with inscriptions denouncing the setting up of the ad hoc committee by the lower chamber when the crime, according to them, is already being litigated against in the court of law. The House of Representatives had in December 2022 resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate a whistleblower's claims that 48 million barrels of Bonny Light crude were illegally sold in China in 2015, as well as the insurance status of the cargo.
We are suffering injustice among the mandate in the public interest and in the interest of the override any other interest in any democratic dispensation. The scheduled Honorable Mark Billa led ad hoc committee hearing on illegal sale of stolen 48 million barrels of Nigeria crude oil in China.
No be lie, no be lie.
It's violation of two principles. Number one, the whistleblower which finished Honorable Mark Billa the information the 48 million barrel crude oil stolen did not file any petition on the National Assembly giving rise to the hearing. Neither were there any call at witness to testify during the hearing. Our chairman, George Obua, known as the whistleblower, whose petition of the National Assembly led at the sack of the former EFCC chairman, can authoritatively state his file and lay on the floor because Billa boycotted the screenshot due to the process. Billa reported ad hoc committee hearing is a scam and unliterated action participated by the grid.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, CP Idowu Owonwa, has presented checks of over 28 million naira to the next of kin of 78 deceased police officers who died while in active service in the state. The presentation of the check took place on Tuesday at the police command in the state, while a total of 36 officers were promoted and decorated. The Lagos CP said the reward system aims to reward befitting officers. More details in this report.
Here at the Police Command Zone 2 headquarters in Lagos, a total of 36 senior police officers have been promoted and decorated. The State Commissioner of Police, Idowu Ohonwa, says this gesture will serve as a morale booster for 7 members of the force.
Lagos State is one of the leading beneficiaries with a total of 36 officers, senior officers that will be promoted to the next round. And this comprises of 15 chief superintendents of police that will today be decorated with their new ranks of assistant commissioners of police. I'm also very much elated because we're also making presentations of a total of 28,585,092 naira 87 kobo to families of a total of 78 police officers that have either paid the supreme price in the service of these states or of these states, or are bearing various degrees of injuries.
Beaming with smiles, the newly promoted and decorated officers say they will double their effort and will perform excellently in their new office.
We want to assure the Inspector General of Police that we are being motivated on this track today is a motivation to continue to work harder, and that we promise him we shall do.
We want to reassure the general public because higher rank demands higher work responsibility, that we are going to redouble our effort to make sure that citizens within the country are able to close their 2 eyes and sleep safely.
After the decoration ceremony, the Commissioner of Police issued checks to families of deceased police officers. While charging the beneficiaries to utilize the money judiciously, the CP explains that death benefit will go a long way in alleviating the suffering of families of the deceased police officers. Beneficiaries expressed gratitude to the Commission for paying in full monies accrued to them.
Right now we have some projects we are doing, like the place I'm living. So I have to put some things in order, so it will go a long way, and my children that are still in school, it will assist them too.
The check will be given to my mom. She is the best to know what we are going to do for actually. Because like mostly my siblings are still in school and they are very, very young, and I believe they're going to like pay for their school fees and some other things in the house. I'm going to say a big thank you actually, because like it has been a long time already, and giving us now at least God has even answered our prayers. Like it has been a long time though. Like we have been praying to receive this check for a while now, and like since 2020, you get like I'm happy now. At least we are free.
The presentation of the checks is part of the Commission's ongoing welfare scheme for the families of deceased officers. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News.
Former governor of Anambra State has died at the age of 78. His family announced his demise on Tuesday in a statement signed by his son, Cheta Chinwoke. Odera, as he was fondly called, passed peacefully at the age of 78 years on the morning of April 11, 2023 at the National Hospital Abuja after a brief illness. Mbadinuju served as the governor of Anambra between May 1999 and May 2003. He also served as a personal assistant to Jim Onwobodo, a former governor of Enugu State, between 1979 and 1980, before playing the same role for Shehu Shagari, former Nigeria's president, between 1980 and 1983. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has received 152 Nigerian returnees from Libya through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. NEMA Zonal Coordinator for Southwest, Ibrahim Familoye, disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday. According to Familoye, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and Nigeria Embassy in Libya collaborated to assist the stranded Nigerians back after their failed attempts to cross over the Mediterranean Sea into Europe. The victims who arrived at the cargo wing of the Lagos airport consist of 54 adult females, 73 adult males, and children. We'll go on a break now and come back with COVID updates.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. COVID cases are expected to rise further across Australia after family gatherings over the Easter long weekend, amid warnings of increasing pressure on hospital staff and a possible new wave of infections. Hospitalization rates have been relatively stable in recent weeks, but the Australian Medical Association's president, Steve Robson, warns that more infections are likely. Robson said the real number of COVID cases was likely much higher than official figures suggest, as fewer people were testing regularly. COVID case numbers in aged care facilities have also increased by about 65% in recent weeks, according to the federal government, although the caseload is about 80% lower than it was during the last summer wave. The U.S. Appeals Court has handed Moderna Incorporated a win on Tuesday, affirming a decision to cancel an arbitrous Biopharma Corp patent related to the company's legal fight over Moderna's blockbuster COVID-19 vaccines. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit upheld a U.S. Patent and Trademark Office Tribunal's ruling that the patent for arbitrous lipid nanoparticle technology was invalid based on an earlier arbitrous patent that disclosed the same invention. Moderna challenged the patent at the PTO's Patent Trial and Appeal Board in 2018, and the board invalidated it in 2019. We'll take another break and return shortly. To stay with us.
Yeah, relax. That is my brother and I want him out of this station now.
We have proceeded.
Okay. Can I just see the IPO of this case? IPO, how are you?
No, welcome, sir.
That is my brother and I want him out of this station now.
Do you know the offense he has committed, sir?
What do you guys want for the weekend? Okay, let me see your DPO.
This way, sir.
Oh, better. You don't know who is here. That boy is my brother. And I want you to assist me to free him.
The man found the gun, confessed to robbery.
Things like this happen. 200,000 naira for you.
Are you bribing me?
500,000 naira.
Robbery suspect?
1 million naira.
That is corruption. Not allowed in this division.
1 million.
Remember,
police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
In business, the federal government has said it will impose 22 billion naira fine on oil and gas firms operating onshore for flaring 24 billion standard cubic feet of gas valued at about 40 billion naira between January and February 2023. According to the latest gas flare data by the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, the companies operating onshore will pay the penalties for violating the gas flaring rule. Nostra lamented that despite efforts to reduce it, gas has been flared in Nigeria since the 1950s, releasing carbon dioxide and other gaseous substances into the atmosphere, and has continuously led to environmental and health challenges in oil-producing areas. The National Assembly has passed the Investment and Securities Bill, which includes provisions for possible jail sentences for those who promote Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. According to the House, Ponzi or pyramid schemes have led to the loss of billions of naira on the part of victims and also affected confidence in the investment climate in Nigeria. The passed bill prohibits Ponzi or pyramid schemes as well as other illegal investment schemes and prescribes a jail term of not less than 10 years for promoters of such schemes. Speaking during plenary, Senate President Ahmad Lawan said that the bill is expected to protect investors, adequately regulate the market, reduce systemic risks, as well as provide for more stringent punishment for operators of Ponzi schemes. And oil prices edged up on Wednesday as the market waited for U.S. inflation data later in the day that will likely influence the Federal Reserve's policy on future interest rate hikes. Brent crude gained 19 cents to $85 a barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate rose 13 cents to $81 a barrel. In addition to the inflation data, the market is waiting for more clarity on oil demand and supply, with monthly reports from the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and the International Energy Agency due on Thursday and Friday, respectively. And China has recorded the world's first death from H3N8 strain of bird flu. The World Health Organization, in a statement on Tuesday, said on March 27 it was notified by China's Health Commission of one confirmed case of human infection with the H3N8 bird flu virus. The patient, a 56-year-old female from Guangdong province, had an onset of illness on February 22, was hospitalized for severe pneumonia on March 3 and died on March 16. The WHO added that the patient had multiple underlying conditions, had a history of exposure to live poultry before the onset of the disease, and a history of wild bird presence around her home. Well, it's now time for entertainment update on News Now.
Following the death of his first son, Kambili Chukwu passed away March 30th, Nigerian actor Yul Edochie has emptied his Instagram page hours after he deleted the pictures of his second wife, Judy Austin, and their son's pictures on Instagram. Yul and his bereaved wife have remained silent on social media and have yet to issue an official statement regarding the death of their son, but they have also urged the Nigerian police force to look into the incident of their son's death. Popular comedian Basketmouth has finally opened up on his relationship with his colleague Ayo Makon, also known as AY. Earlier in the year, AY in an interview claimed that a sum of 30,000 naira was the cause of their long-standing beef. But while featuring on the latest episode of the Honest Bunch podcast, hosted by media personality Nedu, Basketmouth debunked AY's claim, insisting that there was no client involved. According to him, he was never friends with AY and that the working relationship they had was a one-off deal. That's it on the entertainment segment of News Now.
In sports, Chelsea's interim manager Frank Lampard has said Real Madrid is favourite in the Champions League ahead of their quarter-final first leg on Wednesday. However, Lampard has urged his players to relish being the underdogs in the tie. The match is scheduled for 8 p.m. West African time at the Santiago Bernabeu. The game would be the former England midfielder's second in charge of the Blues after they lost 1-0 at Wolves in the Premier League last weekend. Well, that's our bulletin this morning. Thank you for watching. I'm Simisola Atigun. Bye for now.